The light in the abandoned house. The town of Brookfield was small and quiet. It was surrounded by green hills and long roads that passed through farms and forests. People in Brookfield lived simple lives. They woke up early, worked during the day, and rested at night. Nothing exciting usually happened in the town. But on the edge of Brookfield stood an old house that everyone talked about. The house was large and made of grey stone. Its windows were broken, and its roof was partly damaged. Tall grass grew around the walls, and an old iron gate stood in front of the yard. People called it the abandoned house. No one had lived there for many years. Children often told stories about the house. Some said it was haunted. Others said strange sounds came from inside at night. Most people avoided walking near it after sunset. But one person in Brookfield was curious about the house. His name was Arjun. Arjun was 25 years old and worked in a small bookstore in the center of town. He loved reading mystery books and stories about strange places. Since he was a child, he had heard stories about the abandoned house. One evening, while he was closing the bookstore, an old man came inside. The man looked tired and walked slowly with a wooden stick. "Excuse me," the old man said softly. Arjun smiled politely. "Yes, how can I help you?" The old man looked around the shop for a moment. Then he asked, "Do you have any books about the history of Brookfield?" Arjun walked to a shelf and picked up a dusty book. "This one talks about the early days of the town," he said. The old man took the book and looked at the cover carefully. His eyes suddenly became serious. "Do you believe in old stories?" he asked. Arjun laughed slightly. "I like them," he said. "Some stories are not just stories," the old man replied quietly. Arjun felt curious. "What do you mean?" The old man slowly opened the book and pointed at a page. There was a picture of the abandoned house. Arjun looked closer. "That house is still standing," he said. "Yes," the old man replied. "And something inside it is still awake." Arjun frowned. "What do you mean?" The old man closed the book. "For many years, a light has appeared in that house at night." Arjun raised his eyebrows. "A light?" "Yes," the old man said. "But no one lives there." Arjun had never heard about that before. "Maybe someone secretly lives there," he suggested. The old man shook his head slowly. "No one who enters that house stays the same." Arjun felt a strange chill. "What happens to them?" The old man looked directly into his eyes. "They see something they were not meant to see." Then the old man placed the book on the counter. "Be careful with curiosity," he said quietly. After saying that, he slowly walked out of the bookstore. Arjun stood there thinking. The words of the old man stayed in his mind. That night, after dinner, Arjun could not stop thinking about the abandoned house. Finally he decided to go and see it himself. The moon was bright in the sky when he left his house. The streets of Brookfield were empty. Arjun walked toward the edge of the town. Soon he reached the old iron gate. The house stood silently in the darkness. For a moment Arjun hesitated. Then he pushed the gate. It opened with a loud creaking sound. Arjun slowly walked across the yard. The tall grass moved in the wind. The old house looked even larger from up close. Arjun reached the front door. The door was slightly open. He gently pushed it. The door slowly moved inward. Inside, the house was dark and silent. Dust covered the floor. Broken furniture lay in the corners. Arjun took out a small flashlight from his pocket. The beam of light moved across the room. Everything looked old and forgotten. He walked deeper inside the house. Each step made a soft echo. Suddenly he noticed something strange. A faint light was coming from upstairs. Arjun's heart began to beat faster. The old man was right, he whispered. The light flickered softly. Arjun slowly climbed the wooden stairs. Each step creaked loudly. The hallway upstairs was long and dark. But the light came from a room at the end. Arjun walked toward it. The door of the room was open. The light inside was soft and warm. Arjun stepped inside. In the center of the room stood an old table. And on the table was a lantern. The lantern was glowing, but there was no fire inside it. Arjun stared at it in confusion. "How is that possible?" he whispered. Suddenly he heard a voice behind him. "You came." Arjun turned quickly. A young woman was standing near the window. Her clothes looked old, like clothes from another time. Her face was calm but sad. "Who are you?" Arjun asked. "My name is Meera," she said. Arjun looked around the room. "Do you live here?" She shook her head slowly. "No." "Then what are you doing here?" Meera looked at the lantern. "I am waiting." "For what?" Arjun asked. "For someone who can see the light." Arjun frowned. "I can see it." "Yes," she said softly. "That is why you are here." Arjun felt confused. "What is this lantern?" Meera walked closer to the table. "This lantern shows lost moments." Arjun did not understand. "Lost moments?" "Yes," she said. "Moments that people forgot." Arjun looked at the glowing lantern again. "What happens if someone touches it?" Meera was silent for a moment. Then she answered quietly, "They remember everything." Arjun slowly reached toward the lantern. The light became brighter. The room grew warmer. "Should I touch it?" he asked. Meera looked into his eyes. "That choice belongs to you." Arjun's hand stopped in the air. The lantern glowed softly. Outside, the wind moved through the old trees. Inside the abandoned house, Time seemed to stand still. And in that quiet moment, Arjun realized something. Some lights do not guide people forward. Some lights show them the past.